everybody, welcome to today's video. Thank you so much for being here. In today's video, as you saw, we are gonna be doing a full face of Glossier. I was inspired to do this video when the new Solar Paint, the new Glossier bronzer came out this last week. And so yeah, now they have a full face of makeup, so we can do a whole face just of Glossier. And this is a brand I have a lot of feelings about. I have a ton of favorites from this brand and some things that I'm like, about. So this is what this video is for. This is where you can come to figure out what you want to order from Glossier. So that's what today's video is going to be. Before we get into it, make sure that if you haven't yet that you subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. You can also click the bell to be notified when I upload videos on Fridays. And you can follow me on social media. My hand will be popping up right here below me, so you can check me out on there. And with all that said, let's go ahead and get on into this. Alrighty, well, we are nice and close up, close and personal. I'm looking real cute. Having a bit of a rough time with my skin lately, just getting these pretty intense zits. They've just been crazy, but they're in the healing process, so it's just been a time though with my skin. My eczema, this is eczema right here, this little red patch that goes down, and eczema here and here. So we're a little red today, but that's okay. I'm embracing it. We're here for it. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of dab my face off because, so the first product that we're gonna be talking about is something that you know that I love because you've seen it in probably almost every video that I've ever posted. And it is the primer base skin prep that I use before I go in with makeup on my face. It is always the Glossier Future Dew. This is it's called a oil serum hybrid product. So I wanted to give you a really close look at it while we're here talking about this brand. I obviously love this product. It's very clear since, you know, I use it every week. So here it is on the palette. As you can see, it does have, it's not like clear or anything, but it definitely doesn't give a tint to the skin in any way. It is decently liquidy. It's not like crazy thick or crazy thin. It's a nice in-between texture, and I would say an oil serum hybrid is a pretty good description of this product. So there's a swatch of it on the back of my hand. As you can see, it's a very dewy product. Now if you look up close at this product, it doesn't have any glitter shimmer particles in it at all. It's just this insane hydrating texture that is, it does just feel like skincare. It smells great. I like the way it smells. It's very comforting to me just because I use it every day. It says apply 2 pumps all over the face at the last step in your skincare routine. So I use it as the first step in my makeup routine. So it's kind of in the same place, but a little bit different. But yeah, I love, love, love this product. This is my favorite product from Glossier for sure. This is just also great because if I am putting makeup on a little later in the day, it's been a while and my face is a little dried out, this is like instant skin prep in a bottle for putting on makeup. It immediately makes my face look like I've had skincare on and my face is really ready for makeup. It's much better now that I've kind of dried the moisturizer and oil off my face. So you can really see that it gives me that insane dewy look. This is definitely one of my products that I'll say, if you want to look dewy, you need this in your life. If you want to be glowy, you need to try this product. I've gone through several bottles of it. I always have a backup on me at all times. I'm actually getting pretty low on it. That's the first step. So after I've prepped my skin, I'm gonna let this soak in for a bit while I do the eyes. So for eyes, make sure my eyelids aren't too oily. They don't have an eye primer, so I'm not gonna use one. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just use only Glossier makeup on my face, barring if I don't have a product for that category. And then at the end, I will kind of, you know, show you how maybe I would tweak it or something like that. We'll kind of see. But for the eyes, they have two different eyeshadow products, and they are both liquid. They are both liquid products, and I only have one of them here. I have the shimmery version. They also have a matte eye product. I think it's called Sky Wash. And I mainly don't have it because it didn't get very good reviews, but I do have here the Glossier Lidstars. These are a shimmery liquid eyeshadow product. And you know, these are also quite sheer, but in a bit more of a way that it's okay because they do have quite a bit of shimmer to them. And so they don't have a ton of base pigment, but they do add that glimmer to your eyes. And I will say that does vary a bit from shade to shade. And I do have the 2 shades that they most recently released just a couple months ago, I think, these bronzy shades. So here they are on the back of my hand. So all the way over here, I have the shade Cub. It's that really pretty, like cooler toned, pinkish, cool. It's not like super pink, but it just has a bit of that cooler tone base to it. Shade, and then the middle here is the shade Bun, which is one of the new shades. It's that really gorgeous light goldy champagne color. And then all the way over here I have Branch, which is a gorgeous deeper brownie bronze shade. So as you can see, they just have like a glow to them, so they're really nice in that way. So I'm gonna apply them. I think I'll maybe use more than one, we'll see. And as I apply them, I'll kind of discuss how I feel. So they have this little doe foot applicator on them. They are really nice and waterproof. So once they dry down, they are really set and they're not gonna move. But I don't worry about it because you have a decent amount of work time with these. So this is the shade Branch, obviously. And I'm gonna take a little blendy brush. Yeah, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start blending out the edges with this. Now, like I mentioned, these are pretty sheer. So as you can see, it shears out so much, so quickly. You can just do, just like this, a very sheer wash of color on the lid, which is really pretty. They're not so sparkly that it looks weird bringing them up into your crease. But I prefer to layer them up just a little bit. I like these okay. I have found that some of the shades are patchier than others. Like when I try to concentrate, get a really glittery look on the lid, that they just kind of patch off really strangely, which I don't love. And you can kind of see it with the shade, I think. There are some spots that are just sheerer than other spots on my eyelid, which is the definition of patchy. So there are patches that are sheerer than others, which I don't love. I think that these are fine. I just think that there's better out there. Do you know what I mean? No hate on them at all. They last really well and everything, but they're just not my first choice as far as this kind of liquid glittery sheer eyeshadow. Especially this shade and the Bun shade, those bronzier shades. If you're looking for something like that, I did mention in my favorite cream liquid one and done whatever eyeshadow video I did recently, one that's really comparable, I think, is if you want that kind of sheer, no makeup kind of effortless look on your eye, would be the Kosas 10-second eyeshadow in the shade Globe. You get a really gorgeous sheer application of bronzy, washed, kind of glittery shimmeriness all over the lid. And it's definitely not patchy at all. It's super easy to work with. So that's kind of what I would recommend in the Lidstar's place, personally. But no hate if you like these. They're just not my first choice. Like, I can't get the glitter to build up right here, kind of on my inner crease, where my eyelid actually creases. And it's just continuing to not add anything there, which is just kind of frustrating over time, you know what I mean? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add a little bit of Bun to the middle of my lid, just to kind of, since this is a Glossier video, I'll use more than one and try to add some dimension to this look. I'm just gonna kind of tap on it with my finger. And I'm having a similar issue as what I mentioned before on this eye right now. I'm just having this one spot that won't take as much of the pigment as the others, which is an issue that I don't have with other eyeshadows. But yeah, I can't speak for myself as far as Skywash. I just haven't heard the best things about it. It just didn't get the best reviews. So I just decided not to really waste my time on it, honestly. I would just stick with something that I think is a little bit better. These are definitely more popular across the board as far as eyeshadow products for Glossier. I would like to see them do something else with eyeshadow. They did like a line within their brand called Glossier Play for a bit, and they had these like eye jelly glitters in a pot. I never did try those personally because that line was discontinued, but I heard okay things about them as well. They've just never really like shown in the eye department really. So I just don't think it's their area of expertise personally. So that's fine. Moving on, so for mascara, we have the Glossier Lash Slick. Just this very simple little pink tube. This is one that I've had, so I use it pretty regularly. Like if you wanna look like you're not wearing mascara on your eyelashes, but you actually are, this is the mascara for you. It's this tiny little rubberized wand with these pretty tiny bristles in kind of a cone shape. And it really grabs each of your lashes. It is very, very budge proof. It's definitely not gonna smudge on you. I love this for the summertime if I'm not gonna like have an intense eye look or anything. But mainly I use this all the time for my lower lashes because it's not gonna smudge and it's got that tiny wand, so it grabs every single little lash and coats them really evenly and very lightly and doesn't just glob on product. I'll try to build this up as much as it possibly can, but it's not a lot. It doesn't build up a ton. So there's a couple coats. As you can see, it is very, very light. There is not a lot going on with this mascara. So that's a couple coats of me just building it up initially, and I'll try to add a bit more after it's dried down to see if I can add a little bit more vavoom to it. But I do like the way it looks for a no makeup kind of a look, and it's gorgeous on the lower lashes, so easy to use. So we'll get to that. Moving on to brows. So brows is a pretty iconic category for Glossier because one of their original products that they came out with when the brand first launched was the Glossier Boy Brow. They have 4 tinted shades of the boy brow, and 1 clear shade. And they have blonde, auburn, brown, and black. And I have the clear shade. I really like this product. I would love if they had a tinted shade for me because I really like the tinted version quite a lot. It was one of the first like fibrous volumizing brow gels at the time when it came out, so it was pretty groundbreaking in that way. But they don't have a shade that works for me. The blonde shade is the right depth, but it's too warm, and the brown shade is definitely too dark for me. So I have the clear one here today, so that's why I already have a tinted brow gel through my brows, just because that's what I use to initially fill in my brows. So I'll set my brows with the clear one. I also have here their other brow product, the Brow Flick, which is a brow pen, which is a really good brow pen actually. They only have 3 shades in the Brow Flick. They have blonde, brown, and black. So I really like this product, but again, the brown shade is too dark for me, and the blonde shade is fine, but it's a little too light for me, and it's a good tone. It's nice and cooler toned, but I'm just like, man, if they made the boy brow in this cooler toned blonde, I'd be good to go. But I do like the Brow Flick. It's a very, very, very effective brow pen. If you're like somebody who's tried some brow pens, but none of them have really worked for you because they dry out fast or anything, this one is very, very effective. It's one of the best I've found as far as how it works, but for me, I just wish there was an in-between shade between brown and blonde. If there was an ash blonde or a light brown, that would be the golden spot for me. So I'm gonna do my best to fill in my brows the way I am here with the brow pen. Oh, and it is a bristle tip brush as well. Some of them are felt tip and some of them are bristle tip. I personally prefer the bristle tip ones because you can get really, really fine, and the ink I find works better in those usually. So I'm gonna set in my brows a little bit with the clear boy brow. And so here's the thing, I like the tinted version a lot. The clear version, with my clear brow gels, I like them to be crazy strong hold. And this one has a decent amount of hold, but it's just not the strongest hold. So it does fall after a bit, which is not the best. So the clear boy brow is fine, not my personal favorite. Definitely not if you have stubborn brows, but I don't know, I always found there was something different when I tried the tinted ones that I thought they were more effective, but it could be just the way that I use tinted brow gels is different because I kind of do my brows in a different way than a lot of people. But yeah, not the strongest of holds, but it's fine. It works definitely. So there's that. Let me try to build up this mascara a little bit more see what we can get out of it. Okay, so that is as much as I can get out of this mascara, like really pushing it. So that is pretty much all you're gonna get out of it, building it up like as much as possible. So that's the eyes done. Let's move on into the face, which is definitely Glossier's best category in my opinion. So moving into the Glossier Perfecting Skin Tint. This is a product that probably a lot of people know Glossier for. It is the most light coverage of skin tints. And I go through phases of literally using this all the time and then barely ever using it all. But what I love about this product is how versatile it is. I have two shades here, my winter and my summer shade, which is G11 and G10. So there are 12 shades of this total. And it is very, 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 very sheer. So it can stretch across several skin tones with just the one of the shades, since it is so sheer. I feel like I've said that so many times, I'm sorry that I'm being repetitive, but it is what it is. But I love how versatile this product is. I will use it just on my face as a skin tint, as it is intended to be, but my other favorite thing to do with it is mix it into other products because as I will show you here on the palette, it is pretty liquidy. It is good to use for shearing out other foundations. Also, it comes in this cute little bottle that's just this little dropper thing that you just squeeze to get drops out. So it doesn't come out really fast at all. It's very easy to squeeze out of the little bottle there. You do get a whole fluid ounce in it. I know it looks so small, but it's because the packaging is just like very compact. And originally when they came out with this product, I believe they only had 5 shades originally, which was obviously not enough. And so in the last couple years, a few years ago, they came out with the full skin tone range, which is great. And I love to support that. So that's really good. And yeah, but I just love to mix this with other foundations. It gives a very gorgeous, natural, dewy tint to the skin. It's very long wearing. I love the way it wears on my skin. I love the way it looks on my skin. It just gives my skin a very healthy appearance. And I'll start applying it. The way I like to apply it is, since it is this easy little dropper, draw it on my face. That's how easy it is. And then I will just take a brush or my fingers or a sponge, doesn't matter. I didn't even bring a sponge out here, I just realized. That's fine, I'll do it without a sponge. And I will just blend it in. And as you can see, it's giving me almost no coverage. Almost. Not completely no coverage, but almost. So there is just one layer of the skin tint. Very thin layer, honestly. Not a ton of product on my face at all. Just blend it out, and it basically just looks like my skin is not wearing foundation, but it's just a little bit more evened out. Kind of gives like a little bit of a filter over your skin, which is what I really like about it. It is like the perfect summertime foundation. So I'm gonna take what I squirted out onto that palette, obviously not to waste it, and show you how I build this up. And I quite like the coverage that I can get with it. And keep in mind that I'm a person who likes light coverage, so if you're like thinking you could get this thing up to like a medium coverage even, you definitely cannot. Oh, look at this. So now I've built it up just a little bit, probably just one more solid layer than what I did initially. It's giving me this gorgeous light coverage. This is definitely the ultimate no makeup skin tint for sure. Look how gorgeous and dewy and healthy this makes my skin look. I love it. Moving on now to concealer. This is my other, so it'd be the Future Dew, the skin tint, and the stretch concealer. So this is the Glossier stretch concealer. Again, I have my 2 shades in it, G11 and G10, my summer and my winter shades. I did mention this in my favorite concealers video that I did recently enough in the last couple months, I don't know, sometime. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous concealer. It is not super high coverage. It's definitely like a nice solid light coverage. And again, similar to the skin tint, I find that it's just so versatile. I can just apply it in a very thin layer and just get a nice sheer coverage out. Just do a little bit of concealing and evening out of my under eyes, and I'd be good to go. And often I will just take this little pot, dab my finger into it, put a little bit under each eye, and be good to go. But I can also build it up a bit, which is what I love. And I think I get a solid light medium coverage out of it. And I love applying it with a brush because also this is a very dewy finish. So anybody with dry skin, if you haven't tried this concealer, you should. I think this concealer would also be really great on mature skin just because it is that nice emollient texture. So it's not gonna make your eyes look more crinkly or anything like that. It's just gonna make them look hydrated and plump and gorgeous. If you're not dry, I would recommend setting this concealer. Even if you're just normal, would definitely recommend setting this concealer, or you will crease for sure. But my main trick with not creasing and not setting it is doing exactly what I'm doing now, is patting my under eye exactly where I usually crease the most, those little lines under my eye right there. I tap it with my finger and my finger removes the excess product. Let me go ahead and throw a little bit of that Lidstar underneath my eyes. I'm just gonna take the little doe foot, draw a little line on the do a little dollop on the outer corners of my lower lash line, and then I will just take a little pencil brush or just a small blending brush and blend that out. Now I'm gonna put some of that mascara on my lower lash line, which is what I do every day. It is definitely where this mascara shines. Moving in to the newest product from Glossier that just released last week. It is their bronzer, the Solar Paint. So it is a liquid cream bronzer. Comes in this little packaging and it comes out on a doe foot applicator right here. I have the two lightest shades here. This is the shade Flare and this is the shade Ray. Yeah, here are the two shades right here on the back of my hand. This is the shade Flare and this is the shade Ray. So clearly you can see that they are not matte, they are glowy. They do have some glitter in them, but it definitely doesn't show up. It doesn't show up on the face, it just adds a nice glow to your face. It does remind me of the Tower 28 Bronzino bronzer, but these are a bit warmer than the Tower 28. I swatched them and compared them, and the Bronzino is a bit more of a neutral red undertone, where these are a little bit more warm golden kind of undertones. The Flare is definitely less warm than Ray, but these are very, very sheer, and they're not meant to be contours. They're meant to be bronzers. They're meant to warm up the face. So I'm gonna apply them for you. I have only applied them once. I just wanted to kind of get a general idea so I wasn't coming in blind for this video. I'm gonna apply them both. I'm gonna start with the lighter one with Flare. So here I have it drawn all over my face because I just wanna do an all over nice bronze. And I'm taking my brush and I'm just stippling it in just the way that I do with other bronzers. And I will say this is very easy to work with. It's not like some tricky, finicky formula to use. It's definitely user-friendly. If you've used a cream bronzer before, you will have no problem getting used to this. And honestly, if you haven't before, this is probably a good place to start. It's quite easy to apply. It's quite sheer, so it's not gonna be like, whoa, that's too much. Let me calm it down. And it blends so fast. Like, that was so quick. It only took a couple seconds there. So there is the lighter shade Flare on my face, all over. She is definitely glowy, but it does have its own dry down. It does dry down to not be sticky or tacky in any way. It's really not sticky or tacky even right now. And probably the only tackiness coming from it is the skin tint and Future Dew underneath. But it does dry down to a nice natural finish. It's not gonna be crazy wet or anything, and it's very sheer and very blendable. So then what I'm gonna do, that's a nice all over kind of bronze, but you guys know I'm really about that bronze life. So I'm gonna take the shade Ray and just apply it in the areas that I would want more depth. So right under here, under the cheekbones, maybe just a little bit across the forehead and a little bit on the sides of the nose to do a little bit of bronzing. But you see, much smaller strokes with this one. It is gorgeous. I really like it. I think it does exactly what you would expect it to. It's definitely not anything crazy in any way, and it works really, really well. I really like the route that they chose to go. I I really didn't know what they were gonna do as far as when they announced they were gonna come out with a bronzer. I knew for sure that it wasn't gonna be a powder bronzer because that would make 0 sense for Glossier. They literally only have one single powder product, and it is a loose setting powder, which I don't have. And that is the only powder product that they have ever released. I knew that it was gonna be cream, liquid, something along those lines, but I really didn't expect it to be in this doe foot applicator kind of system, but I really like it actually. And you know, you can see the shadow that it's added to my face, even though it is a glowy bronzer. It's just added that dimension back to my face, which is what you're looking for with a bronzer. But I also think it could work for somebody who just wants like an all over just sheer bronze. In that case, I'd say go for a shade lighter than what you think. And if you want more intense bronze, go for a shade deeper. There are 4 shades. I have the 2 lightest, as I mentioned, and the 2 deepest are quite deep, which I think is great. They actually did spread out the shade range pretty well, in my opinion, and I think that they'll work across quite a few skin tones per shade since they are so sheer and buildable. So you can either wear them a little lighter if they're a little too deep for you upon like initial swatch, or you can build them up a bit more. So that is the newest product from Glossier. Finally, a bronzer. Who would have thought this day would ever come? I don't know. I don't know if I believed it would happen. I hoped it would, but I didn't know for sure. Wow, me with a Glossier bronzer on. How did this day come? I don't know. I'm skipping highlighter because the Future Dew gives me this gorgeous glow and I don't need highlighter. They do have a cream stick highlighter called Halo Scope. They have 3 shades of it, but I don't have it personally because it is just kind of a sheer, very natural highlight, which I have a drawer full of those. And I think that I'd probably like it. But yeah, I just didn't really see the point because I have the Future Dew that gives me that nice glow anyway. So moving on to blush. They are very, very, very well known for this product category because they have a hero product in this category, and it is called the Glossier Cloud Paint. Whoa! What was that sound? Whoa! So these are liquid blushes. They were one of the first liquid cream blushes that really went that became really popular. So this is definitely a cult favorite, an iconic product, if you will. They have 8 shades of this blush, and it comes in this little tubey tube, which is so cute. And I have 4. Oh, so I have half. Oh. And man, these are great. They're so beautiful. So I will show them here for you. I think I'm gonna do little dots on the palette, and then I might mix some is kind of what I'm feeling vibe wise. So first up, we have the shade Storm over here on this side, which is this gorgeous, deep, warm rose kind of a shade over here on the end. And it is stunning. I love that shade so much. It's definitely a favorite. Well, all of these are favorites, to be honest with you. Next, we have the shade Spark, which is this shade right here, AKA this shade here on my hand. And as you can see, it's a really bright red, kind of like it makes me think of a poppy flower. Like it's that bright, punchy, reddy with a little bit of a pink undertone to it. Now, right below it, we have the nude shade Dusk, which is, I'm sure, their most popular shade, which is right here. And it is a gorgeous, gorgeous, warm nude shade. And then over here on the end, we have the shade Dawn, which is this insane bright tangerine orange, which is right there. Yeah, as you can see, it straight up looks like neon orange. Yeah, you can see the shades really well there. And literally this dot, these size dots would be plenty for both cheeks. I think I'm gonna mix some for my cheeks today. I think I'm gonna go in a warm direction, but I just love how pigmented these blushes are, and I just think that they're so great because they'll work on literally every skin tone. Probably all of them except for Dusk, and maybe like they have like a light cool tone pink would probably be only good for fair shades, but they have so many of these really gorgeous, bright, bright colors that are so pigmented, so saturated, that they'll work on literally every skin tone. They'll look so beautiful on deep skin tones, and you can obviously sheer them out quite a bit for lighter skin tones. It's just perfect. I love them so much. And it's fun because they're liquid, and so you can mix them really, really easily, and you just have so many options as far as like what you can do. So I love that. So we have a warm look on the eyes. So obviously I'm gonna have to go warm with the cheeks as well. So definitely some of the Dawn orange shade. What about if I mixed Dawn and a little bit of Storm? Ooh, look at this burnt orange shade we get. That is really nice. Yes, that's what I want. Right there. And these are not like crazy dewy in any way. They're not crazy matte. They just are very natural in their finish. They're not gonna look insane in any way as far as texture wise. They just blend with whatever you already have working on your face. You know what I mean? They're just gonna match the same texture that's below them. Ugh, so perfect. I love that. But yeah, I love all of these shades. They're so beautiful and they have so many more shades on there. As I mentioned, there's 8, so there are other shades on there that are, I obviously have the warmer kind of tones mostly, but there are obviously cooler tones on there as well. So if that's your jam, they're there as well. But really gorgeous formula, so easy to work with. So that's the blush, very exciting. Last step, we have lips. So there are 3 different products in this category that Glossier has, and I will save the newest one for last. Start out with some OGs here. So first up, I'll talk about the lip gloss. So this is their Glossier, it's just called the Glossier lip gloss. I have 2 shades in it. There are 4 shades total, I think. There's no like opaque shades in this. It's literally just clear glosses with a bit of a tint or added shimmer to them. The red one is the only color. It has a red tint to it, but it's mainly clear. They have a clear gloss that has gold shimmer in it, a clear gloss with iridescent shimmer in it, and then the plain clear gloss, which is the other one I have here. Now these are so beautiful. They fill in the lines of your lips gorgeously. And as you can see, this is, you know, a red, but it's a sheer red since it's just that translucent gloss. Look how nice and cushiony my lips look. So beautiful. I love that. And obviously this color looks super weird, but I just wanted to show you, because the other one is obviously just clear. So most people know what a clear gloss looks like on the lips. But that's the lip gloss. I love this lip gloss. It's definitely one of my favorite lip glosses ever. It's something I go to for just like that natural, like plump kind of look. This is a clear gloss that I love to use by itself on my lips to just give my lips an extra little oomph to them, you know what I'm saying? So the next lip product is the Glossier Generation G lipsticks. Now these were very, very popular when they came out because they're so different from a lot of other types of lipsticks at the time. Like we have a ton of sheer lip balms now, but we didn't back then. And these are sheer lip balms with a matte finish, which was very unheard of then when they came out and very unique. So I have 2 shades here and I really love these. They're so interesting and they're so sheer and beautiful. So I'll swatch them for you. I'll just swatch them for you on the lips. So this is the shade Cake. It is a neutral kind of warm nude, a gorgeous shade that I love. And as you can see, it's matte. And normally I do wear these with lip liners personally, just because that's my preference, but you can do what you want. A lot of people wear them without lip liners, and I think they look fine without lip liners, honestly, just because they give you that nice blurred edge to your lip. But this is a gorgeous warm nude. The other shade that I have is the shade Leo, which is a brown. And as you can see, they're very sheer. So when I just swipe, there's a little bit of color there, but it's just a slow build. So there's Leo. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous brown. I love this shade so much. It is one of my go-to fall lipsticks. It would be a gorgeous nude on deeper skin tones as well. But as you can see, it just gives you that really cool blurred kind of a look. So the newest product that they've come out with is the Glossier Ultralip. I have 1 shade in it. This is the shade Trench. Now this is the same component as the Generation G lipsticks, but it is just pink instead of white. And it is another sheer lip balm, but it's glossy. So let me actually compare. I don't know that I've ever looked at this really closely. I want to compare Trench and Cake in Generation G just because they look kind of similar there in the tubes, but I don't think so. Yeah, definitely not. Cake has a lot more pink undertones to it. You can still see that Dawn blush shade over here. It stained my hand. Yeah, it has more pink to it, but pretty close actually. So if you like Cake, in the Generation G lipstick, then you would probably like the shade Trench in the Glossier Ultralip. But I do like these. These are just a really nice, simple tinted lip balm. I am gonna line my lips before I do this because this will be my final form. There's my little lip liner. And now I'm gonna put on Trench. And it is a very nice, balmy tint. It's really comfortable. It's not too thick, but this has more emollients to it, I'd say. But it is a gorgeous, warm, nudie brown that I love. So that is the last product from Glossier. I just off camera went in, added a little bit more of a deeper brow pen. This is my one from Arches and Halos that I love so much. Just to add a little bit more definition to my brows, just because I felt like they were looking a little sparse for my taste personally. Glossier is a really fun brand, a really cool, very young kind of brand, but there are a ton of really great products from this brand. As I mentioned, my top 3 would definitely be Future Dupe, Perfecting Skin Tint, and the Stretch Concealer. Favorites, favorites, favorites. Love those so much. And honestly, this bronzer, it's getting there for me already, and this is the second time I've worn it, so this might be one of my favorite products from Glossier eventually. It could get there because I just love it that much. It wore so well the other day when I wore it for the first time, and I just love the way that it applies and blends out. I think it's really beautiful. So, but they do complexion and face products really well. The cheek products are incredible. The eye products, not so much. I look forward to seeing maybe what they do in the future to improve that. It would be really cool to see them do like some kind of a potted cream eyeshadow. I think they would do that really well maybe. I haven't tried the matte liquid eyeshadow, the powder, which is called the Wowder, the Halo Scope, their highlighter. Haven't tried that. Oh, and they have a liquid eyeliner. Haven't tried that. But that's personally because I don't wear a ton of liquid eyeliner and they just have the shade black. If they had brown, I would probably try it. But they just have black, so I haven't tried that. But this was like pretty much most of the products from Glossier here today. They also have skincare, they have body care, merch, they have hoodies and things like that. So yeah, this is pretty much it. I really love my makeup right now. I'm having a pretty good makeup moment. The only thing that I would add besides what I did with my brows is probably add a little bit more mascara because that mascara is so light on my top lashes, but I don't mind it. I'm okay with a lighter lash moment every once in a while. It's cool. So that is a full face of Glossier. Let me know in the comments if you have tried anything from Glossier. What are your favorites? What is something that you're looking forward to trying from this brand? If you are thinking about placing an order, I hope that this video helped with that, helped you make some choices. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.